Hi, welcome back to Millennium Workshop. It is that time of the year where Jack Skellington and A Nightmare Before Christmas becomes really popular. It is one of my daughter's favorite movies this time of the year. It bridges the gap between Halloween and Christmas, and she just absolutely loves it. So I had to make a Jack Skellington helmet this year. Also, for everyone that wished me a happy birthday this month in October, I want to say thank you so much. But let's just get into this. Alright, it's time for everyone's favorite part of the build is watching our Jack Skellington grow. I don't know about you, but I could watch this all day. I think I say that during every video because literally it's one of the most satisfying things is rewatching the 3D printer working. Alright, and then right off the bat, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be sanding some of the more aggressive areas. I started out with a 180 grit, and I did not like that so much, so I switched over to an 80 grit, and then 180, and then 220. Now it's time for a fan favorite part, which is brushing the teeth. When you use a bristle brush like this, it really helps make smoothing inside crevices way easier. So I strongly recommend picking one of these up. It's the same as you would use like on a barbecue grill. Just make sure you get the stainless steel one instead of a brass one. The stainless steel one does last a lot longer than if you used a brass one. Now you couldn't see that was really fast. I do apologize about that, but I am using U-Pole filler, glazing, and spot putty. I switched over to this stuff instead of using Bondo. It sands so much smoother. It's a little bit harder to sand, but the final product just looks 10 times better. So if you haven't been using this stuff or haven't tried it, I strongly recommend it. You can pick it up at your local O'Reilly's Auto Parts. Also, their primer is top notch as well. Now I'm going to be using 220 and 600 grit sandpaper to get this nice and smooth before we do our first coat of primer. Now once you've gotten that to the smoothest that you want at first, I'm going to hit this with about 2 to 3 coats of filler sandable primer. I was out of the U-Pole primer, so I just used the normal Rust-Oleum. It does work great, it just takes a little bit longer to dry, kind of gums up your sandpaper a little bit. But once we get back into it and it's all dry, 600 grit sandpaper, a nice wet sand. Once that gets wet sanded to where you want, you may have to go back and use a little bit more Bondo, or maybe do another round of filler primer. But luckily I hit this off pretty well and I didn't have to go back and do any of that, so yay me. Now when it comes to a white paint, I am not a fan of many white paints. This one that I'm using, it's a high performance Rust-Oleum flat paint, white paint just takes a long time to dry. So if you find one that you like, use it. It doesn't have to be a specific one like the one I'm using. This is a great opportunity where you could airbrush your white on if you have an airbrush, but not everyone has that, so we're going spray paint today. Now personally, when it comes to a lot of hand brushing and painting, I like to use airbrush paint. You don't have to mix it, it goes on pretty smooth. But really what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go into where his teeth are, and I am going to outline all of it. Try to make it look like teeth as I go, and then once that is done, we're going to be almost complete with this helmet. So this right here is a great opportunity. If you have watched up to this point, I do appreciate you. So I want you to drop a comment down in the comments saying Jack Skellington is amazing. Now to make the eyes, I found this really awesome plastic mesh on Amazon. I ordered it in white and black. And what I did was I cut out templates to make these eyes. Now, I wanted it to be a little bit more durable, so I did like a plastic visor behind it. And since they are both plastic, instead of trying to glue them, I just went along the edge and kind of melted them together. It made it a heck of a lot easier than gluing your fingers together or anything like that, or overflowing and having to start over. So just melt these two together and you should be fine. And then it's time for final install. Now believe it or not, this mesh, I mean, you saw it previous that it is real easy to see out of. That was my main goal here, is I want this to be real easy to be like very transparent, easy to see out of, especially if it's dark out. So this mesh really does work well. Now this helmet would be great for Halloween. It would be great to put on a mannequin or a statue and whatever you decide to do. But we're making it into a helmet, so. Alright, if you made it through that entire video, I want to say thank you so much. Now you know how to make a Jack Skellington helmet for either trick or treat or for display. It's completely up to you. So if you'd like this video, please drop a comment down telling me what you want to see next, and I'll catch you on the next one.